You are watching the Global Gamers Invitational Tournament brought to you by iFixit. SCVs for the real world. The Handsome Nerd, attire for the handsomest of nerds. And Esports United, sponsored by Intel. This broadcast is also made possible by IC TV, TeamLiquid.net, and of course, Blizzard Entertainment.
Alright, so we are here on Game 3 between HuK versus Stalife. Stalife is down 0-2 so far, picking Kulas Ravine. He will spawn as the green Terran in the bottom right-hand corner. And HuK is going to appear in the top left-hand corner as his usual blue Protoss. Cross positions, not big difference run distance-wise on Kulas Ravine, but it does have a big effect on which expansions you can take safely.
Once again, I do want to thank those sponsors for the Global Gamers Invitational. They are iFixit, SCVs for the real world, and also Esports United, sponsored by Intel, and the Handsome Nerd, attire for the handsomest of nerds. They're donating all the money and prizes to the prize pool, and bringing out big names like HuK and Stalife. And since we're just waiting for stuff to happen, I can't resist. I have to take a crack at this. A lot of guys I find are really hard on HuK for playing, really aggressive strategies like 4-gate, like we just saw with the Zealot worker harass, and they throw around a lot of really mean words like cheese. And first of all, I want to say HuK is a good Canadian boy, so he can do no wrong, and I resent the fact that anyone would suggest that he wins only by cheesing. That's utter nonsense. HuK is a fantastic player, and just because he takes advantage of opponents who simply can't handle early aggression doesn't make him bad. It just means he's taking advantage of his opponent, like he should. And we really saw that in that last game. He completely outclassed Stalife with that early micro, just manhandling all his SCVs trying to build barracks. And he certainly deserved that win. And if anyone calls that cheese, well, let's see you beat HuK.
Yeah, HuK, he's just very aggressive early on in the game. You can see with that 1-gate robo build on Lost Temple, he was actually trying to get a really quick expansion. Super greedy. HuK is fully capable of macro play, but he just likes to favor putting a lot of pressure onto his opponent because he is really good with his unit control early on in the game. So he's just, playing towards his strengths, gonna go with an aggressive style of builds a lot of the times just because that's what he's good at. There's nothing wrong with that. And I don't know, it's not cheese unless it hinges around not being scouted. And with what he did there, his SCV was sitting in HuK's base the entire time, watching him not make a cybernetics core, and then just actually even saw both zealots leave his base and come towards his own in the top right. So he was fully aware of what was happening, but HuK, with his great control, was able to do damage with it anyway.
Now, here on the current game, we see Stalife is going for a fast Reaper, similar to the last game. Interesting choice. Reaper's, of course, very effective on this map because of the huge amount of cliffs, and with the Zelnaga watchtowers, makes them even better. But really hard to actually do damage to anyone's base, especially the Stalker already on the way. I can't see this Reaper being anything more than a glorified
Oh my
scout.
god! Look at this! Stalife dropped a really early gold expansion, and HuK, with his scouting probe, already found it. That's going to be huge, because with these really quick golds on Kulas Ravine, you are trying to keep that hidden. But HuK, already knowing that that's up on the field, you can see him adding 2 more gateways. He's going to be able to put a lot of pressure on that by making Stalife have to defend 2 different places that are very, very far apart on this map.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Stalife, but you were talking about cheese and how it all hinges on whether or not it's scouted, and that just goes to show Stalife taking a very risky move, and it was scouted. So great play by HuK there, anticipating. You see already that attack is on the way.
Yeah, so he's going to be able to force a cancel on this command center by killing this SCV, and once that's down, there's just no real way he can get enough units over here fast enough to keep HuK from tearing this down with some reinforcements. So we should see him just let HuK pick away at that for a little bit longer just to buy some time, which is a good move, rather than canceling it immediately. Because HuK's spending this time chipping away at it very slowly. And then once it starts to get low, he will cancel it. And if you look back into his base, this extra time has given him the opportunity to get 3 barracks up, there's a factory being built as well. So now that he finally cancels it, he will be looking a little bit better versus this 3 warp gate pressure by HuK, but still, after dropping 400 minerals into that early expansion and being forced to cancel it, it's going to be a very tough position for him. He's probably going to have to pull workers to not die.
Yeah, Stalife very, very far behind, losing that command center, losing probes early
Oh,
on.
when he's moving out. Oh, that is not a good thing to be doing right now, as HuK is pushing in with 3 Stalkers, Sentry, and a Zealot, just completely chasing Stalife back into his base, moving out of the safety of his base there. It's probably one of the worst things he could do right there. It does show that he was not completely aware of what was going on with the 3-gate strategy by HuK. And the SCVs that he does pull all get killed, so he has to pull even more. These small SCV pulls I'm not the biggest fan of, because yes, you will be able to keep mining, but if they don't work, then you're down like most of your SCVs and you have to pull even more. So it's probably better just to grab the whole SCV line, just like completely make sure you don't die, and hold that off and then send the survivors back to the worker line.